1,000 square feet in that building. And, you know, all of Wittner's buildings were designed fire-proof. It's well built, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And that's a tribute, I think, to the board and the administration in terms of maintaining the building. It's an old building, admittedly, and you can't wait to get into the new building, I'm sure. Well, your teachers and principals. But the bones, you know, as I like to refer to the exterior walls and the floor slabs and things like that, they're solid and in some respects better than what we can build today, just because of the cost of construction and things like that. So, yeah, cosmetically, aesthetically, it's seen better days, but I think the bones are really sound and solid. It's not a wood structure. It's not something that, you know, where you have undulating floors and ceilings that are collapsing and things like that. So it has a lot of potential as an adaptive reuse. You know, when you think about preservation of the structure, that would be the goal from a historic standpoint. It's hard to think of another, I guess, repurpose of the building other than housing. I don't think you can put a museum in there. I don't think a hospital's going to want to buy it. Another school's not going to want to buy it. You know, kind of limits your options, I believe. And housing would probably be the most appropriate adaptive reuse, whether it's affordable or whether it's market rate. The advantages of affordable, or advantages and disadvantages, quite honestly. The advantages are that with affordable housing, you can generate a lot of capital to make the improvements. There are programs, Ohio Housing Finance Agency, the 9% tax credits, the 4% tax credit programs. The government has created incentives through the IRS program to provide housing for those that are in need. Market rate is challenging. I don't know all of the census and demographic information that well about Greenville, but it would be hard probably to charge $2,000 a month for an apartment in Greenville or something like that. If you're in Columbus or Cincinnati, you know, they're taking old buildings and schools and churches and things like that. We're involved in some of those projects in Cincinnati, and the developers can come in and get $1,500 to $2,000 for a one-bedroom or two-bedroom. So it makes all the numbers work. You know, you can raise enough capital through the private sector to fund a large project. But if that's not possible in Greenville, you may seriously want to consider affordable housing. And I know in talking to Richard, there's been some, I guess, question about that. We want affordable housing in downtown, so close to Memorial Hall. I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I know some of the concerns. But in the projects that I've seen have been really successful, and to allay those concerns, they designate the property as senior, and we keep the unit sizes to efficiencies of one bedroom, so you don't have families in a multi-story building and the associated problems with that. I have not heard many objections to a senior development in a community. We all want to help our seniors. We're all going to be seniors at some point. We're getting closer every day. And the Ohio Housing Finance Agency has stated that as one of their priorities, is to provide affordable housing for the baby boomers, for all of us and those that are older than we are. And the building, as Molly laid it out, works out well for that purpose. So, and as a result, you can generate capital that you need to make the improvements. Preserve the building, provide housing for those that need it, and I think reach out to the community through some of these other service areas, the gymnasium, maybe some food service, maybe some other things that can help the community at large versus just the building itself.
One other addition to that, it also get housing that serves two purposes. It's good for housing, also blends in the area well, as opposed to putting up another kind of housing now. It's pretty cheap and trashy, and that doesn't blend in. At least this serves two purposes.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I'll use Cincinnati as an example. That's kind of my town. And we look at over the Rhine. I don't know how many are familiar with Cincinnati and kind of the renaissance that's occurring in the downtown area of Cincinnati. For years, the city and others have tried to invest in downtown. This was back in the 70s and early 80s. You know, let's build some parks, let's put some more restaurants down here, let's try this, let's try that. And it was never really successful until somebody, or they finally figured out, if we bring people down here and they live downtown, then there's this synergy. The restaurants flourish, the banks flourish, the retailers flourish, and there's a vibrancy downtown. And if anybody's been to Cincinnati recently and been downtown, you can see that. You can see people on the street, you know, at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning on the weekends, whereas before, you know, what, 15, 20 years ago, Molly, it was a ghost town. And that's because people live there. And I think there's a trend towards, instead of urban flight, which was common in the 70s, early 80s, there's a contraction. People want to come back downtown. People want to be able to walk to their restaurants and things like that. So the restaurateurs, the retailers, banks, everybody is benefiting from that. And in this, you're bringing potentially 55 more people downtown that will maybe, you know, walk to the market house and have lunch or dinner or something, or patronize the people downtown.
So, are there any, I'm sorry, go ahead.
What has been the experience with the Eaton project as far as you say it's going to probably be ready in January?
First of the year, yeah, around there.
As far as people getting the apartments, renting.
That's a very good question, and I don't have an answer for
Okay.
that. Miller Valentine would be able to tell you that. Just why.
Because again, you said the square footage is like 550, is that right?
Around there.
Yeah. And obviously the reason for the layout is because of the way the windows and so forth and the walls are set up. The new Water Street project in Dayton, those are not as expensive as what we were talking about. You can rent one of those from anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a month. They're probably a little larger square footage than this, perhaps. Most of the lesser expensive ones would be 1 bedroom. So was there any consideration to put 2 of those groupings together for a unit? I mean, obviously the rental charge would be, if not twice as much, perhaps not quite twice, but whatever. The other thing would be to find out from North Valentine, what type of demographic rental situation they are having. Because there's going to be some pushback when we talk about senior housing, affordable senior housing. You know, affordable always means low income. It's perceived as low income, which doesn't have to be, but it's perceived. That can be an issue. So finding out more information, and I know that because of time constraints, that can't wait very long, just because of the schools and such. Anyway, what is the distance of each of those, the length and width of those? Any idea? I mean, if I can figure it out. And it's pretty much, not quite square. but-
Pretty much a rectangle, right? I think, there were a couple of points, I guess, or questions that you made there. I think it would be good to talk to Denise or someone, Miller Valentine, and maybe ask them about the
Yeah.
school. What is your experience? Are you fully leased, or you have a waiting list, or what is the demand? And I think another component is a market study. What is the demand and what is the demographic? Is there a high demand for what bedrooms? And is that demand coming from seniors, or is it coming from families, or whatever the case may be? I can't speak to that. I don't know. There are experts that do that. And I think
I'm in touch with VSI in Columbus, VSI stands for Strategic Insight, Jen Tristano. And she's offered a contract to do affordable housing analysis for Greenville and Dart County. And after I told her the interest from the development company in Brooklyn, who wants to put upscale in there, she's offered a contract to do analysis for market rate. I'm gonna ask her to do both together, so we can see what's going on. Because some people feel there is already an abundance of affordable housing. There are a lot of units here, but it reflects the need in society. That's been going on for decades, that some of us don't have as much money as some of us, I mean, it's still sliding that way, huh?
Right. And I think you need, the market study will also tell you what kind of rents you can anticipate for a particular size unit. And those are all numbers that go into the developer's equation to say, I can afford to do 40 units or 30 units or 70 units or whatever. And what's the mix? Is it 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, things like that. And so this is very preliminary. I think Richard started by saying that this is a preliminary, really the challenge for us was how can we maximize the use of that building in terms of number of units. So Molly tried to take the plan and maximize that, and I think she did a really nice job, 55 units in the building. You can scale back from that and easily combine units. You can take 3 units and make 2 units or something like that and make them larger, provide a little den, right? Or an extra bedroom or something. Again, it changes kind of the total number of units. You have fewer units, but you have bigger units, you can get more rent. It's all of this kind of massaging of the numbers to see what you can afford to do, really. I mentioned this before, I can't help myself, but a little commentary on affordable housing for seniors. Just by the nature of the design, you don't have children. You don't have the associated problems with teenagers and loud music. You don't have problems that would normally be associated with, quote, affordable housing. Now, I don't know many seniors that are raucous and have loud, wild parties and throw trash out the windows. Now, I don't know, maybe the seniors in Greenville are a little more rowdy than I'm accustomed to.
Some of us baby boomers
Yeah,
are
right.
still rocking out.
Right. But if you design your building so it's just a 1 bedroom and it's age restricted, I think a lot of your problems kind of go away. But again, you have to go back and look at the market study. What is the need? You really need this, because you don't want to spend all this money and renovate the building and find that you can't rent half the apartments. That's a developer's nightmare. So that's why all the due diligence needs to be done. Those are the preliminary stage. I know the board, I think, in talking to Chris, the students move out in January. I guess when they come back after Christmas, they go to the new school. She'll have a vacant building come the first of the year. And the school board want to do something, move on with that. And I think you currently are bidding the demolition.
Basement and demolition.
Basement and demolition of that. So in a couple weeks, you'll know what that number is. There would be some amount. And then, I'm not speaking for the board, but you'll probably take that and say, okay, here's our out-of-pocket, this comes out of our pocket, we have to spend this to have someone do this work. Maybe there's an alternative. Maybe a developer would come and give you money to take the burden off of your hands and do something with it. But there's effort between here and getting to that decision. Because Miller Valentine, their